Hey guys, thank you for tuning in to Slappy's Garage. On this episode, we're going over budget and timeline. Now, this is part of my how to start your motorcycle build, to try to help people who haven't built a bike before or try to learn how to build their own bike for themselves. So on this episode, we're going over budget and timeline. I have a little chart up here, but before I get into the chart, I'm going to go over some key points, like stay on track.
Staying on track may or may not include knowing your limits, so don't bite off more than you can chew. Necessities first, so make the bike function properly before going into the extras. Make a plan and try your best to stick to it.
You have to be aware that things do go wrong. Figure out exactly what you should do when things go wrong, or try to prepare for that before they go wrong and give yourself some leeway. So say I'm saying right now you have 9 weeks to build a motorcycle, but you really need the motorcycle done in 11 weeks. That's giving yourself a 2-week leeway that you should test ride the motorcycle, make sure everything's good and sound. You actually have a little bit of a buffer, so when your exhaust takes 2 extra weeks to come out to your bike and you have an issue with oil something, whatever it may be, there's a chance for you to fix it before that deadline where you really should have gave yourself. But that buffer is that your savior, so you still are able to make a trip, a show, whatever it may be. So to get started, I have a chart here. This is meant for taking a grandpa special 883 Sportster into a little more sporty, maybe a stunt style or a club style, whatever you want to call it. But this is the process I would do. We have the things that take the longest on top and also the things that take the most work on top as well. Now, I start with the 883 to 1200 kit. So if you have an 883 and you want to go to 1200, you can have many options. You can get a set of used jugs, get a set of pistons to match it, and build it that way. Or you can also buy a whole kit that's ready to go, drop in. It's more expensive. So let's say it's $400 to $1,000. It may take 1 to 5 weeks of lead time. Now, the 1 week option is actually going to give you more labor because now you're going to take these jugs and actually bring them to somebody and have them honed out and refinished to match the pistons that you ordered and it took a week to get. So we're going to start off with the cheaper option because, we might not have the most money when we're building these bikes. So we're going to pick the $400 option, and it's going to be a 1 week lead time to get the part. Teardown is going to still take 2 hours, but the install is now going to take 10 hours, which is a lot of time. So we're going to give you a $1,000 initial budget, $200 weekly, and also 5 hours a week to work on a motorcycle. So to start off, that is a $400 purchase. We start off with $1,000 minus $400. You still have $600 left over. So we're gonna go and order front suspension. We're gonna say this is gonna cost you $600, but still take 3 weeks. So you get those parts in week 4, giving you $200 the next month. You have 5 hours to spend now on your first week. Tear down. 2 hours, 1 hour, 2 hours. So everything's done here. You still haven't installed, but we're circling the 10 hours because that's what you're going to do. Now, in the second week, you don't have any money to buy your custom paint. You're going to have to wait till the next week, but you can also start with 1 week lead time. You can go bring and take off 5 hours from the install. So it's just, you have 5 hours in the next coming weeks. So now you're going to start off with $400. Now you want to get your custom paint, so minus $350. In the next coming week, you will have $250 to put towards your powder coat. Paint is actually going to take 6 weeks when you talk to the guy. So now your paint is not going to be done till week 9. This will be very close. It's going to be week 9. You're going to put the painted parts on, and hopefully everything goes right. On week 3, now you have 5 more hours to spend. You want to send things out of powder coat the next week. So you're going to do 3 hours here and 2 hours here. So you have 3 hours left to finish your top end, but you have everything stripped down the powder coat to week 4 of your build. So you're getting into almost a month of working on this motorcycle. You don't have any parts you can buy this week, but you have 2 more hours you can work on this. So minus 2 hours, that will give you 10 hours. That's done. And your front suspension, now that you bought that $600 kit, is 3 hours. And everything's ready to go to powder coat when you have the money. So that is $400 that you're going to subtract from the next week. You're going to get your powder coat in 3 weeks, which will be week 8. Now that you have everything stripped down, you're going to want to prep for the next week. So you want to tear down your bars and risers, but you have a little bit extra time. You're still waiting on parts as you're prepping, so you're going to do all 3 hours of labor. So that'll give you $250 in week 6. So now you have $250 going into this week, and you don't have anything to do, but you still have some time. Everything is maximized. You've done everything you can prepping to come up in the next few weeks. You're going to order your bars and risers, and say your friend has mid controls for $50 that you can throw on your bike, which is a great deal. He's trying to subtract 200 and go into the week with $250 again. Now, the mid controls came in, so you're going to spend 1 hour working on the bike, and the mid controls are going to be done. Your bars and risers, you're going to wait till next week, and you're going to spend those 3 hours there. And you're going in with $250, so you can actually buy a seat, which is not going to take any time, and it's not any time to install. It's 15-20 minutes. So we're going to say minus $250. So you're going into week 8 with $200 and no rear suspension. But now in week 8, we have your powder coat coming in. So that's going to be minus 3 hours. Your powder coat will be installed. And week 4, you're going to have $400, and you're able to buy your rear suspension, and that's going to cost you 1 hour of labor, and as well as your custom paint comes in, that's 2 hours of labor. So minus 3 hours, your bike is complete per se. $100 left over. But now, with everything I put into this build, you are forgetting a key point. You did your top end, you did everything, but you didn't service the motorcycle. This is an unforeseen thing in your plan. It's an unforeseen cost in your plan to build a motorcycle, and it's going to cost you $100 to get the oils and fluids and actually properly service the bike well. So that's also going to take you another hour. You spent 3 hours already. So now you have time to actually service the motorcycle and put that unforeseen cost into the motorcycle. So that's an extra $100 gone. Your budget is gone. You blew through your budget, but you're in week 9. You can start the bike, get it all done, and go riding. And hopefully everything goes well and no more unforeseen costs for your project. Now, this is just a rough chart of trying to give you an idea of what goes into building a motorcycle. This is just trying to help you plan and budget your build. You're going to have different costs, different time lengths, and everything. So when you order something, you try to realize how long that order is going to take to get to you, how long it's going to take to install, and how much time you are that week. So say you have a lot of overtime coming up and you're not going to be able to work on a bike for 2 weeks. You put that into your plan, so you're not going to be able to work on the bike for these 2 weeks, but you'll have the money the next week to order those parts that you can actually finally install and find and put into the bike. While you're working, you can order those and everything. Now there's many more circumstances that can happen. You want to prepare for the worst when you're building a motorcycle, because you don't want to put yourself in such a timeline that you're not going to be able to get it done, that you spend many hours just staring at a bike, trying to figure out what you can do with no parts in hand. So try to order everything that's going to take a while early on, and try to get everything that's a lot of maintenance and work done as soon as possible. And then the things like seat, rear suspension, exhaust, you can live without that for a few rides and then change it out after. But if you want to do an 83 1200 kit, you can't stop that halfway and put it back together and say, oh, it's done. But you want to do that right. Your paint, your powder coat, that's not something you'd be like, all right, well, I'm not going to get painted, I'm just going to put back together, because you're waiting on the parts to come back from paint, or you're waiting on your triple trees to come back from powder coat. So you can't assemble the motorcycle together. So get that done very early on, because it's going to cost you later on if you try to put that into the end of your timeline. And now I know when you do a motorcycle, you sometimes want to do the paint last, because you want everything together before you put it and paint it. But sometimes it takes longer to get the paint done than it does to put a motor together. Thank you guys for watching. This is just an idea for you guys to just be aware of these circumstances when you're building your motorcycle. And I hope this helps you on your future projects or builds.